What you think about the reception out there, man? You're on enemy territory right now. What did it feel like out there?
It was a little quiet, but you know, I got no hard feelings. Like I said, you know, I may catch boos here and there sometimes, but I've never been booed after a fight. So, you know, it's indifferent.
What's the emotion like for you right now? It's so weird because, like I said, we only saw you 4 months ago, but with everything that happened in between, it almost feels like this is a comeback, you know, like you're almost gone, you know? So, I mean, does this feel kind of fun to be back in the mix, fight week, doing everything again?
Yeah, it does. I think for other people, it's like the same old thing, but for me, it's definitely a comeback because, you know, mentally, like I said, I closed the chapter on being here. I think I had to do that to really, you know, give thought into signing in another place and putting in time at another organization. And so I really mentally closed that chapter, and then now I'm here again, and I mean, fast too. So yeah, it was kind of a whirlwind, just moving and just taking no days off training, you know, for the last 5 weeks hard. I feel like the shape that I got in the first 2 weeks was just incredible. So I'm having fun with it.
Does it feel like the start of a new phase in your career then, knowing that you closed the chapter on one? I mean, does this feel like a new phase?
Yeah, definitely. It feels like, you know, I was on a tear when I first got, you know, from the WC to the UFC. There was a jump and I went on a tear, you know, and then I felt like after the last time I fought Frankie, I kind of was a new chapter, and then I was the beginning of something new, and I lost that first fight to Holloway, but then I went on another run of rebuilding and trying to figure it all out. And I feel like I'm right there again. I'm with a different team now, a team that, you know, the Train Lab. I feel like I see a future. I feel like I could be there till the end of my career. Staying in California, being around my family, all the guys that I'm training with all have young kids. You know, TJ just had a newborn, and all the guys have, you know, like little kids just like I have. So we're all in the kind of the same boat. You know, some guys are coming up, some guys have been there as long as me. So it just feels right.
Who's going to be in your corner on fight night?
I'll have some of the same people. My boxing coach is going to be there. My manager is going to be there, and then Daryl Christian. He's you know, a wrestling coach I've been working with, and I feel like he's had a lot of success against Frankie. And so I really liked what he was showing. I also worked a lot with Mark Munoz, and you know, so I had different styles of wrestling, and I feel like I got a good game plan for him.
I know this fight came up quickly, you know, when it did happen, but along the way, how long had you thought about having this fight? I mean, was this a rematch that you had ever kind of replayed in your head and thought, I need this fight again? Yeah,
I knew it would come at some point, but I always seemed so far away, so I really wasn't thinking about it, but I always referred back to the fight when I talked to coaches about game planning for a fight, about how I felt like we were, you know, outsmarted in the corner, and just for the progression, you know, I felt like I did so poorly in the later rounds and not making adjustments that my coaches didn't even have much to tell me because they didn't feel like I was doing things to help out the situation, and I was kind of stuck. So that's been, you know, my game plan for a long time in the off season is be able to make adjustments in there. Sometimes even like on a sparring day at the boxing gym one day, I was not feeling great. Usually I just wouldn't spar because I don't want to get punched in the head for no reason. I go, you know what, I'm just going to stall this out and I'm going to make the most of it. And I felt like I won the rounds, barely, but against a very dangerous guy, and I frustrated him more than I was frustrated. And it was just a lesson to be learned from my last fight with Frankie of, you know, if it's not the way I want it to be, make the most of it, make those adjustments instead of getting frustrated and being like, ugh, you know. Even in my last fight, I honestly was not feeling well. I went into the fight and I was doing great, and I felt like I was in control of the fight. I made a mistake and he got the win, and but ultimately I felt like I did very well, especially considering the circumstances.
It's been a while since they've been here, but UFC has a pretty interesting and long history in Atlantic City. Are you aware of it, and does it mean anything special to be fighting in where UFC got its start, kind of got legitimized here? Yeah,
I guess I hadn't really thought about the long history of it. You know, I am a fan of the old school days and knowing where our sport comes from. I feel like a lot of the up-and-comers don't realize it, don't think about it, and that's why I'm a big fan of, you know, someone like Mayweather possibly coming over. Is like, we're going back to the old school of style versus style, and who cares if it's a little gimmicky? People want to see it. Let's let them see it, and then they have more appreciation for what we do. You know, the guys that are grinding it every day. So, you know, I appreciate the history of the sport, and then myself, I fought here before. I had a big win against Ross Pearson, and so I mean, I like fighting here.
You okay with those gimmicky fights, even if they make more money than you?
Yeah, you know, and some of them, because someone like Mayweather and someone like CM Punk, they have their own following. They have a huge following. They're bringing people to the sport. There's a lot of people that complain about it, and you know, it's like, well, if you had that kind of following, you'd be able to walk right in. You know, I walked into you know, a little a golf tournament, charity golf tournament at the Career Builders, and then they had me commentate, and I was like, you know, sure. And I was doing a little commentary, and it's not because I'm the best golfer, because I'm not. You know, I could hit a couple good shots, but because of who I am and who I am to the Valley out there, I was able to do that. So when you make those bridges, it's because they're trying to bring in, you know, different demographics, and you got to respect that.
Just out of curiosity, what do you think was the bigger adjustment? UFC guy going into the boxing ring, or vice versa? Mayweather trying to come over here.
Vice versa. I think we train striking, you know, and you know, they don't train wrestling, they don't train grappling, so it's completely different to them. And the thing is like, guys like me and TJ and my buddy Juan, we go to my boxing gym, we put on the headgear, we put on the cup, we put on 16s, and we play their rules all the time. Only once recently have I been able to get one boxer to come in the gym, and he wrestled a little bit in high school, and he, you know, played our rules, and he was like, man, I got tired so fast. It was crazy. He was stressed out. He was like, I couldn't believe how tired I got so fast. And I told him it's different, you know. So very rarely does a boxer want to come to the gym and play our game, you know. So like I said, we're always playing their game, their rules. I won't kick you. I won't throw elbows. I won't throw knees. I'm not going to try to take you down. We'll play your rules because I want to get better at your sport, so I can be better at mine. Right. It doesn't happen the other way around. So.